The search was part of an ongoing nationwide terrorism investigation with an unusual target: peace activists and labor organizers. Yeah. Needless to say, peace activists and labor organizers are freaking out. How could this administration, which is so pro-labor and so pro-peace, allow such a thing? I know. It must be overwhelming. A Washington Post report says the FBI, quote, is examining possible material support for Colombian and Palestinian groups. What? The left and Palestine, designated by the U.S. government as terrorists. No way. No way. But the targets of the raid insist they are not tied to any terrorist, and they're protesting the raids. They claim the government is targeting them because they're critical of U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East and South America. Well, let's play a little game. Let's find out a little something about our raided participants, shall we? First, there's Mrs. Wiener. Okay, Stephanie Wiener, whose revolutionary lemonade stand, sadly again, not an actual lemonade stand, temporarily shut down. She was just selling anti-capitalist paraphernalia using capitalism. Oh, how she must hate herself. But who is she? Well, she's just a revolutionary who taught English at a Chicago City College for, 25 years or so. She's a member of the Palestinian Solidarity Group. You know, one of their campaigns is to end the Chicago sister city relationship with a city near Tel Aviv. She's also a founding member of the local municipal workers' labor union, and she is also an advisor to the Wright College Students for a Democratic Society. Okay. Labor union and SDS. All right. She's also been the advisor to the Peace and Justice Club since 2002. Now, her husband and her were involved in a New Wave party at the University of Iowa in the 1970s. Party was organized as part of the Progressive Party within the university student government. Oh, and she's a member of the Socialist Chicago New Party, which was founded by, do I have him here? Yeah, here he is. I love him. He's so great. Joel Rogers, remember him? Oh, all American stuff happening. Now, her husband, who is not a wiener, he's an Osbaker. She's a strong, powerful woman. Why would she have her husband? Who are you to judge? He's an employee at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Well, that school comes up a lot, doesn't it? Joe is the advisor of the campus chapter of, here's one of my favorites, SDS. And a member of the Freedom Road Socialist Organization, a revolutionary socialist Marxist-Leninist organization in the U.S. They stand for the right to self-determination for the African-American nation in the Black Belt South. But who's not for that? I think we all feel the same way. He's an executive board member for SEIU. What? Yeah, and along with his lovely, lovely wiener wife, he is also a member of the Chicago New Party. And last but not least, he's a supporter of Bill Ayers. But wait, there's more. There's more. You gotta meet these crazy kids. We'll do that next. I'm very excited because we have more peace activists that the FBI are beating down the door of, and you've got to know, they've got to be bad if this FBI is coming after. By the way, I don't know why these people, I'm looking for a connection to what's happening in Gaza, and I don't know why these guys hate Hispanics so much. But I believe this is a flotilla, and that's the way it is. Now, let me show you some other members of Congress that are speaking out against the FBI raids, because, well, these are Americans. Sure, they have suspected ties to terror, but we just talked, you know, about a nice couple from Chicago. No doubt they've been wronged here. Let me show you a couple more. Our third, no doubt, innocent victim here of these FBI raids is Hatem Abudaya. He is the executive director of the Arab American Action Network. and a member of the Palestinian Solidarity Group. Here's one of his sweet, sweet, gentle quotes. Here it is. Bring it up here. You have it? The U.S. and Israel will continue to describe Hamas and Hezbollah and these other Palestinian and Lebanese resistance organizations as terrorist. We're so hateful. But the real terrorists are the governments and military forces of the U.S. and Israel. How right he is, huh? The vast majority of the world sees and understands this and are in full support of the Lebanese, Palestinian, and worldwide resistance to Israel and the U.S.'s naked aggression, war and imperialism and occupation. I don't think this guy or these guys could have said it any better. Here's Carlos Montes on the flotilla. He is the most recent person to have been raided. Now, here he is at a protest against the raids. Carlos is a founder. There he is at the protest. Here, he's a founder of the Black Panthers-inspired Brown Berets. Okay? Member right there. There he is. Younger. Boy, you kind of let yourself go there, Carlos. Too many flotillas. He's a member of the March 25th coalition, the Campaign for Illegal Alien Rights in 2006. Oh, that was good. Remember those days? And he's also the leader of Latinos Against War. So why has he been targeted? Good question, America. That's why today the Committee to Stop FBI Repression is sponsoring a national call-in day to support Montes. Organizers are asking people to flood Attorney General Holder's office, demanding he drop the charges against this clearly innocent man. Now, this is clearly blatant, ugly, anti-Hispanic racism. Plotius. You make that call today. If you can't, don't worry. Tomorrow, there's a viewing of a movie about the 1960s Chicano movement inspired by Montes when he was the Brown Beret leader. Thursday, there's a big rally outside the Federal Building in Chicago. Get your airline tickets. Now they're going fast. These people are coming out of the woodwork now. This is why it is important for you to be able to judge someone by the fruits of their labor. You'll have to be able to figure out, these guys, good guys, bad guys. They look normal, right? I mean, except for the guy going, okay. They look normal. How do I know the difference between right and wrong? Education, enlightenment, empowerment. And then judge somebody by what they're creating, the fruits of their labor. And then, after you've judged good versus evil, join one of the groups, will you? You can stand with these guys, or you can stand for Israel. Find out how at glennbeck.com. All right, you know and I know there's a lot of crap happening in the world. And how are we going to solve it? That has been the thing I've been wrestling with for a long time. How do we solve it? Well, that's why I gave you the E4 project, Enlightenment, Education, Empowerment, and Entrepreneurship. I want to tell you somebody who's using it in Palmer, Alaska, Anthony Ursick. He's not one to sit around and wait for life to happen to him or anybody else. This is an ambitious young man. He's already published a book on deep sea creatures that's coming out next year. Well, last weekend he wanted to accomplish what nobody else had ever done before. He's a member of the Palmer Church of God, and Anthony invited 37 members of Palmer churches from more than 30 local ministries and several public servants to gather for the first ever Palmer Singspration at Raven Hall on the Alaska State Fairgrounds. Anthony, I read in the newspaper, said that I was one who initially inspired him to take action to help churches become a special shield in their communities to protect residents from negative outside influences, and he's trying to bring people together. By the way, I left out one part of this story that I think might be important. Anthony is 11 years old. He put this whole thing together, have all of the local church communities unite, not in theology, but in spirit. To conclude, he gave a speech at the event. 11-year-old Anthony Ursick said this, quote, "I'd like to leave a thought with you from Dr. Bernard Nathanson. Dr. Nathanson was one of the founders of the abortion movement. He helped provide 75,000 abortions, one of them being his own very own child. He later became a pro-life movement leader. Nathanson explained to the public how he got abortion legislation passed. Quote, "We knew that the biggest obstacle in our way was not going to be the government or the media or academia. We knew that we had those, and we could easily get those on our side. The biggest obstacle was going to be the church. Abortionists would have never gotten away with it, what they did, had the churches been united, purposeful, and strong," end quote. That is from an 11-year-old American. I didn't even know who Dr. Nathanson was. Have you ever heard of him, Oscar? No, we didn't know who. He's 11. It should give you some hope that there are people that are uniting. They are starting to be active. There are people doing their own homework all around the country. Here is an 11-year-old. We have a couple of college girls that have set up something in support of Israel that is now, I think, in 34 different states, 38 states. It's all about E4, entrepreneurship. An enlightened, educated, empowered individual can create something of real value. But if you want to create something, you have to have a blueprint. You have to be educated. If you want to save something, you have to be educated. Go to glennbeck.com now and learn more about the original argument. It's important. glennbeck.com. Go there now. I'm just making a list. Today, we are now 12 shows before the final episode. Radical Islam. Tonight we did E4. Tomorrow is government control. On Thursday, we're going to do a lot of stuff on history. We have a special show for you. I've been asking the audience, what do you want to learn from this show? We've got 12 left. Please email us. What do you want to learn? What do you want to, what do you want us to cover again? When it came to history, people wanted to know more about the founding fathers and also the roots of radical Islam. People wanted to know, how did we survive the Great Depression? How did we make it through? And what can we learn? This Thursday, you're going to get some of those answers. Make sure you join us for every last episode. From New York, good night, America.